Books on Tape presents The Hot Flash Club Strikes Again by Nancy Thayer, read by Carrington MacDuffie. Chapter 1. Because Polly Lodge liked to look on the bright side, the word she chose to describe her mother-in-law was challenging, as in, the ferret makes a challenging pet. So when Polly's only child, David, married, Polly vowed to be the best mother-in-law she could possibly be and the least interfering. Sometimes this was a struggle, but even though her son's wife, Amy, was a week overdue for the birth of Polly's first grandchild, Polly did not phone David and Amy every day. Of course they would call her when the baby was born. In the meantime, she didn't so much sleep at night as levitate a few inches off her bed in a trance of anticipation, every instinct straining to hear the ringing of the phone. And then the phone rang. It was the middle of the night. Polly lurched up and grabbed for the handset, knocking all her books off the bedside table. "Hello?" David's voice was gorgeously smug. "Hello, Grandma." Polly shrieked, "Amy had the baby!" She switched on her bedside lamp and sat up, leaning against the headboard. From the foot of her bed, her ancient basset hound, Roy Orbison, shot her a long-suffering look, then laid his head down between his paws and resumed snoring. "She did indeed." David's laugh was proud. David and Amy's insistence on having the baby born at home with a midwife had worried Polly, but she'd kept quiet, and now the joy in her son's voice signaled that all was well. Polly fell back among her pillows, weak with relief. "Stop it, David! Don't torture me!" They'd also decided, when they'd had the first ultrasound, not to be told the sex of the baby, nor to discuss the names they were considering. "Jehoshaphat Feast Piper has just arrived on planet Earth, weighing 9 pounds, 3 ounces, and bellowing like a bull." The string of unfamiliar syllables made Polly blink. Huh? Jehoshaphat was a biblical king famed for his righteousness. "Oh, David!" Tears streamed down Polly's face. "A little boy! Oh, darling, congratulations! How's Amy?" "She's beautiful." Now David's voice was choked. "She was awesome, Mom." "Oh, I'm sure she was. Please tell her how proud I am of her. Give her a hug for me, and lots of kisses for everyone. Is there anything I can do?" "No, thanks. I think we're going to try to snatch a few hours of sleep. We're exhausted. Well, Amy is." "I'm so happy for you all, David. I love you all so much." "Thanks, Mom. We'll phone in the morning." Polly clicked off the phone and looked at the clock. 3:17. Her grandson had been born sometime around 3:17 on September 20th. Her grandson, little Jehoshaphat. Little Jehoshaphat? "Stop it!" Polly snapped at herself. She threw back her covers and flung herself from her bed with such energy she disturbed Roy Orbison, who, for an old dog with sagging skin, could conjure up an impressive array of expressions. Right now he resembled an exasperated housefrau, hair in curlers, arms folded over her Wagnerian chest. "Well, I'm sorry," Polly told the dog, "but you're a dog, and I'm overwhelmed, and you're all I've got at the moment, so you can just bear up and sacrifice some sleep to keep me company." Roy Orbison sagged a bit, morphing into his Jeanne d'Arc at the stake pose, but stayed at attention. "In the first place," Polly muttered, reaching for her silk robe and pulling it on over her nightgown, "isn't Jehoshaphat an awfully big name for a little boy? Stop, Jehoshaphat! Don't put that raisin up your nose!" She slid her feet into her slippers. "And what if he goes through that prepubescent plump phase David went through? You know his nickname will be Fat. Although—" Polly stopped, tapping the top of her head as she did more and more these days when she was trying to remember something. "Isn't fat cool now? I mean, the word itself? Something I saw on television. But never mind. What's cool now, it's bound to be out of style when Jehoshaphat is a preteen." Roy Orbison fell over on his side, groaning. "But we're not going to be critical, are we, Roy?" Flicking on lights as she went, Polly headed down the stairs. She wouldn't get back to sleep now. She didn't have to call Roy Orbison to join her. The animal was catatonic unless he suspected someone was headed for the kitchen, in which case he became Wonder Dog. Sure enough, she heard a thud as he hit the floor, then the clicking of his nails. In the kitchen, she poured herself a mug of milk and popped it into the microwave. "Oh, Tucker," she said aloud, "if only you were still alive." Her husband, Tucker, was David's stepfather, so this baby would be his step-grandson. Still, Tucker would have shared every ounce of Polly's joy. Oh, she could imagine just how he would smile. Tucker had died 2 years ago, and while the heart-searing grief had diminished, Polly still missed him every moment of every day. The microwave beeped. She took out the mug and held it in her hands, so nice and warm. Roy Orbison came waddling into the kitchen. The vets warned Polly the dog was overweight, but he was 15 years old, for heaven's sake. He deserved a treat now and then. Instead of collapsing in his usual heap of wrinkles, he sat at her feet and cocked his head at Polly, doing his best loyal Fido at his mistress's feet impersonation. "You are such a fake," Polly said fondly. "But all right, I'll add a celebratory spot of brandy to my milk, and you can have a great big dog biscuit, okay?" Roy Orbison wagged his tail and passed gas. In the morning, Polly showered, dressed, and breakfasted, and it was only 8 o'clock. She wouldn't call David and Amy yet. They might still be sleeping, and she couldn't possibly sit at her desk and accomplish anything, so she phoned her best friend, Franny, to share the good news, and then she went up to the attic to dig out the boxes of baby things she'd been saving for 30 years. By noon, Polly had not only found the various little rompers and blankets and quilts, she'd put them through the washing machine and had them tumbling away in the dryer, and still David hadn't phoned. She couldn't wait any longer. She dialed the Piper's house. David answered in a whisper. "Oh, hi, Mom. How are you?" "Impatient," Polly said with a laugh. "David, when can I come see little Jehoshaphat?" David paused. "Amy wants you to wait a couple of days. She's concerned about strange germs." "Strange germs?" Polly's jaw dropped. "Amy thinks I've got strange germs?" "Not just you, Mom. Everyone." "Oh, David, that's humorous, Mom. Amy's exhausted. We all are." Polly took a deep breath. "All right. What about tomorrow?" "I'm not sure. I'll let you know." Polly felt her lip quiver. She felt cold-shouldered, left out. "But, David, I can't wait to see him." "I know, Mom. I can't wait for you to see him either. He's beautiful." Thank God for her garden. Polly hung up the phone, slid into her gardening clogs, and stomped outside. She'd already planted her new bulbs and put most of the outdoor furniture away, so she headed to the back of her yard to prepare her little vegetable plot for winter. She worked away furiously, thrusting her spade into the ground, turning over the lumpy soil, carrying heavy piles from the compost heap and mixing it in. Her garden would be better for this next spring. Plus, it kept her from pulling out her hair. Relatives. No wonder Einstein had named his incomprehensible hypothesis the theory of relativity. E=mc² was easy compared to her own familial galaxy. Polly had grown up in South Boston, where her father was a schoolteacher, her mother a homemaker. Both parents were kind, loving, and as boring as turtles. Their lives clicked reliably through the familiar, repetitive routines of their days, and anything else made them nervous. They never yearned for adventure, wealth, or fame. Hell, they nearly broke out in a rash when they had to travel to the middle of the state to see Polly's brother and 2 years later Polly graduate from UMass Amherst. Polly's father died young of emphysema, brought on by too many cigarettes. Polly's mother, just 2 months later, of a heart attack, brought on, Polly was certain,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?